streaming from the ABC Action Weather Center in Studio A. This is Dennis Phillips Live Plus. Brought to you by CMK Construction, crafting Tampa's most exquisite bathrooms and kitchens.
All right, hi there, everybody. I think I did everything right. I think all the technology is working out there this evening. I'm meteorologist Greg D. filling in, third day in a row now on DPL. Of course, Denis is on a much-deserved vacation. If you're watching on the Spot 66, welcome. This has gone over the air now. This is the second week. I think we've officially now gone more than a week of DPL on the air, so you can watch us on some cable systems, of course, and with your rabbit ears, with the antenna, channel 66 is where you could tune into that. This is going to be home to the Lightning games coming up as their season gets started in the fall, so this is going to be the spot to be literally here in the Bay Area. Now, if you're watching on the Spot, I do recommend the dual screen experience, and that's because there is a whole social component to this show, and that is happening on Facebook and over towards YouTube. On YouTube, it's Denis Phillips. That's where you want to search. It's on his page. Already seeing Anita from Newport Richey. Hey, Anita, love Newport Richey. I do so many school visits there. You guys have some amazing communities and absolutely amazing schools. Got Mary there from Lealman. I visit a school in Lealman every year as well over in Pinellas County. That is awesome. So yeah, if this is what you're seeing, if you're on the Spot, you're missing this, the chatting, the friends that are gathering together to watch this show as we talk about the local weather and, of course, some of the big news stories across the country. We'll talk about some of the big weather stories in the last couple of days. I've got some amazing video that I hope to get to later on in the show. Of course, if you're on the Facebook page or in our streaming app, if you're watching there, love to have you. That's also a great place to be, but it's the Facebook experience that's best because you get really the best of both worlds. You get to watch and you get to interact as well. If you do want to check us out on Facebook, it is Denis Phillips. That is his page, and it is also on my page since I am guest starring, I guess you could say, on the show. Greg D. Weather, you can get on there. I've been posting reels, all kinds of video updates, both on Facebook and on Instagram the last couple of days. There's been a lot going on around the country in terms of the flooding in Texas. Happened again out west in a neighboring state. I'll show you that. We'll get into the details of that. And then if we have time, we'll check in on those earthquakes out west. A little update here from the United States Geological Survey earlier this afternoon. I pulled some graphics from them, so we're going to get, of course, we're going to get geeky. We're going to get science-y. My shtick is the details, so we're going to talk about the details. But I always like to start with our local weather because this is what's important to us, right? So as you look at the tower cam right now, over to the right, this is from our studios looking east. It is really storming out there in portions of the area, especially Polk County, then south of there, and then north into Pasco. We'll take a look at that latest radar coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Let me take that full screen so you guys can see exactly what's going on as we get a little look here into the local forecast. So we've got temperatures right now that are in the 80s, but it did make it to 92 earlier this afternoon in Tampa. Sunrise continues to move up closer to 7, but the sunsets haven't changed yet. I always find that so interesting. The days start getting shorter in the front first. The sunrise has been moving about a minute or so every week. The sunsets are going to start doing that later. It has to do with the not perfectly circular orbit of the Earth. I'm not an astronomer. I don't know the details, so I will skip on this. Some of you may know. If you do know in the chat, please let me know. Get science-y in the chat. Let everyone else know. I love Mary says science-y details. Yeah, that's absolutely right. 87 right now in Tampa. I don't know why this makes me laugh, but every time I look at that 87, I am quickly reminded about how little it matters because the heat index is still 96. It is still 96. It still feels like it's closer to 100 compared to the 80s. I wish it felt like the 80s out there. 86 Riverview, 86 Newport Richey, 84 over to Davenport, 84 in Lake Wales. We are still warm out there. The heat index I can't believe it. I mean, you probably can believe it if you're in Lakeland. 102 degrees right now. Are you serious? 87 in Clearwater, 86 or 96, excuse me, over towards Bradenton. It is hot out there. All right, let's get to the radar because there are some things here I want to talk about. So let's start zooming and moving as we slide across the radar. I know some of you are probably hearing thunder. So first location, this is going to be Lacuchi-Dade City. You're wrapping up your big thunderstorm. This thing has really been dropping a lot of heavy rain. It's right there on the Sumter-Pasco County line. Luckily, it is now south of 50, and it is completely east of 301 and 75. So mainly rural areas here, but you know there's a road out there, and these smaller roads, they don't handle these big downpours very well. So just be careful if you're in this area. Down to the south, actually, let me scoot this a little farther north. Polk County, I don't want to forget about you guys. Look at this downpour right there. So it's going to be the south side of Winter Haven. Right there between Waverly and Winter Haven, Eagle Lake and Waverly. Big downpour, lots of lightning. Looks like it's right over, I can't even read the road. There's so many. Eloise Loop Road. There's so much lightning, I can't read it. That's where all of the Juanita area, that's where the big downpour is. Not severe, but you know, if you're underneath it, this thing is going to be loud. And then finally, down to the south, this has been a very stormy area the last couple of evenings. Right between 62 and 70, the west side of Wauchula, down 663 and Highway 64. Again, not severe. This is Hardy in northern DeSoto County, but yeah, it's pretty strong. It's definitely coming down. It's just sort of been hanging out there the last couple of hours. I think those storms will continue. Then after 8 o'clock, things wind down. I don't think this stuff is going to head back toward the coast. I think we're good there. So if you've got any kind of outdoor activities planned the next couple of hours, it'll be warm and humid west of 75, but I don't expect rain. Now, east of 75, keep an eye on the radar. It is going to get a little bit more active. So as far as the planner goes, tomorrow, I think we basically copy and paste today right into Thursday. So 80 in the morning, maybe a shower near the coast. Then as you go into the afternoon, probably going to start to see a little bit of maybe a couple of showers popping up, maybe the sea breeze getting active, those clouds starting to grow up as we come back to the double box here. Temperatures already near 90, feeling like 100. If there's going to be rain near the coast, and we got a couple today. Did you guys get the rain? Wesley Chapel, Thenoto, Sassa, Pebble Creek, New Tampa, Plant City, the I-4 corridor. Man, he got stormed on. Noon to 4 p.m. is going to be that window again. And then after 4, it goes east of 75 again. And I think the coverage is going to be similar, probably at about 30 to 40%. So let me show you that hour by hour really quick for Thursday. It really looks like I just took today's forecast and copied it into Thursday, basically. The morning, mostly dry again, about a 10 to 20% chance of rain. Notice that, you know, this is, I love how Futurecast does this. I'm gonna take out the big arrow. You see that little green there, right near Bradenton? It's suggesting as the sea breeze gets going, someone along it, doesn't have to be Bradenton, someone's gonna get some rain tomorrow. Then it moves east of 75, and that's where it's gonna spend much of the afternoon. Coverage tomorrow at about 30 to 40%. We're gonna chat here for about 90 seconds on the Facebook page if you're watching on streaming and the spot. We'll be right back. All right, how's everybody doing? They're in break here on the spot. I get to actually read some of your comments. Wauchula, I thought it was Wakulla. Oh, Wakulla is north. That's a great question. And I'm going to pretend like I'm a Floridian. Charlotte, I'm not a Floridian, but I've done 2 tours here. My first one was up in Leon County, 5 years at this place. And Wakulla is up north. So Wakulla is in the panhandle. Wauchula is down here. So I know it gets confusing, right? These names are so similar. What up, Greg? Hi from Hudson. Hey, Teresa. I see you. Hey, y'all, is Dennis on the chat tonight? I don't see Dennis. Could he actually be on vacation tonight? Is this really happening? I think. Did we ban him? Did somebody ban? I didn't ban him, but maybe he banned himself. I hope so. I hope he's doing time with his family. Cookie is sleeping. I got to tell y'all, Cookie is the laziest dog. I took her for a walk today. First of all, she's not athletic. She doesn't like the heat. So we did like a 15-minute walk. She did all her business. Went right into bed after her breakfast, and that's it. She didn't get up. She has no desire to go outside. Way too hot. About 20 seconds left. Hi, Greg. Michael, hey, how you doing, buddy? Go Cowboys. I got some Cowboy fans here. I've been waiting for Greg to hit that button, and I finally caught it. Stephanie, I hit it. I didn't ban anyone, though, okay? I'm trying to be good here. Not banning anyone just yet. All right, and we are back. Welcome back to the folks on the streaming and the spot. You're back with us here. We're going to take a look at the tropics next. I actually have something to tell you about the tropics. Could you believe it? Let me adjust a couple of computers here as we do that. Get ready for that. So let's get past this, this hour by hour. I'm going to send you guys back to the big maps because, you know, we got to point some stuff out. We got to look at some things, get science-y. I think science-y is better when the class can see a little better. Little Professor D here. That's kind of my thing. By the way, little side note, I did teach physical geography for about 8 years at a community college in Arkansas, my master's in geography. So I was an adjunct. So if I wasn't doing this, you guys could probably tell I would have been a teacher. I visit schools and teach kids about severe weather. It just seems like a natural extension. So this show, it turns into basically a weather lesson. Sorry, I can't help it. Dennis will be back next week. He'll be back to regularly scheduled programming. But here we go. In the tropics, you see this wide spin here in the Western Caribbean, upper low right over the Cayman Islands. Not a concern. This thing is headed well west. Upper lows can sometimes acquire tropical characteristics, work their way down to the surface is where tropical systems are. This one's not going to do that. It's going to be in Mexico pretty quickly. The other thing is this tropical wave. Now, interestingly, it's turning away from the United States. As I'll show you, one of our models is actually hinting at maybe some potential development here off the Outer Banks next week. Now, at that point, anything that's in that area, and the Hurricane Center is not seeing it yet, would move away from the coast and would not be a threat to the United States. So officially, the Hurricane Center says no development over the next 7 days. One of the main reasons they're saying that is mainly because of this. You guys know what this is, right? It's that giant cloud, Saharan dust. It's all across the Atlantic, dry air. Yeah. It's not a good situation. All right, hey Greg, we have a spammer. Uh-oh, I don't know if I can find him. Hold on. Levy, is that what it is? Oh my goodness. All right, I hope you see what, the chat here, I gotta tell you, it's my least favorite part. Not because of you guys, but because of the way it's presented to me. It dumps both Facebook pages and YouTube into one column, and it just scrolls, and as everybody's trying to get my attention, oh, I see him, guys. All right, here we go. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's add the right effect to this. All right, I found Levy. We are going to first hit the button, proper procedure, and then we're going to add him to the block list. That's it. He's done. All right. That felt kind of nice. You know, it felt kind of good. I kind of like that. Hey, let's pop a Diet Dr. Pepper. Let's enjoy that moment. Sweet victory. We got a spammer out. You know, I try to be organized, but for some reason the spirit of Denis just kind of infiltrates this show, and it just goes off the rails naturally, even for someone who's type A personality and pretty organized. I love that. Great job. Thank you. You guys are so supportive of banning spammers. I love the love here. We're all in this together. It's like we all hit the button, right? I love that. All right. So Saharan air in the tropics, that's going to protect us the next 7 days. But the Climate Prediction Center is still looking at the northern Gulf. And I got to tell you, yesterday both of the models were showing some broad low pressure developing out there. Let's switch over to the models because I think things have changed a little bit here. All right, so I know this looks sciencey, okay? I know this is really sciencey. So we're going to look at the GFS and the Euro. The first one up is the Euro. And what we're really focusing on, I'm going to fast forward past Sunday, past Monday, so now we're into next week. Now you're looking at Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, the Euro does have, by next weekend, this large area of rain across Florida and parts of the southeast. There's a frontal system that gets pushed down here, and you know how this works. You get a front here sitting over this warm water, there could be something. But honestly, the Euro is not really doing anything with this. It's just got the rain. Briefly, it had a little L there, right there. I know it's even hard to see, near Florida. Then it goes away. So you know, obviously it's suggesting something is possible. Am I concerned about it? No, not yet. GFS, and the GFS does show a low. Okay, so now this is also earlier, but you guys know how we as meteorologists feel about the GFS. It's just not the most reliable model. It always goes early with everything, and as soon as it does, it goes to the max. Now, even though the GFS is 4 days earlier than the Euro, which is significant and probably not correct, it also, though, you know, I got to give it to the GFS. It's been calming down. I don't know if it's had a talk with someone, if it's learning to, maybe from the Euro, you know, maybe Euro is becoming its buddy and they're kind of learning from each other. It definitely shows a low there. And you see here near the coast, near the Panhandle, the Mississippi River, it has a little pop of red there, a low. So maybe a tropical depression is what it's hinting at. Certainly not a tropical storm, not with that pressure. But it's kind of, you know, containing its excitement. I'm kind of liking what the GFS has been doing lately. It's not like early in the season. You guys remember that fake hurricane it was putting out for like 5 days? I know, freaked everybody out. It's not doing that. So I think it's doing pretty well. Now, one of my favorite things to look at, this is the Euro. Okay, you guys can see that great. Let's see if I can zoom this in. Well, oh, perfect. Look at this. We got zoom. This is the Euro. This is the Euro highlighting areas where it thinks a tropical depression could develop. And notice, this is in the next 2 to 3 days. You guys see this? This wasn't there a couple of days ago. It's indicating the potential for some tropical development maybe just off the east coast of the United States. So maybe off the Delmarva, Delaware, Virginia, Maryland, or the Outer Banks, or off the Jersey coast, possible. This, however, would be going that way, okay? So I think maybe this is why the Hurricane Center is not really jumping the gun on just trying to put an area out there, even though they're obviously seeing this too. And it's probably because they're thinking, okay, well, even if something does develop, look where it goes. It goes out over the Atlantic. And you have to remember, the Gulf Stream here kind of runs like this. If it gets too far north, if it gets up closer to Long Island, it's not going to develop. The water's probably too cold. But if it hugs that red line, you know, there's a frontal system nearby, that tropical energy near the Bahamas. It could. I mean, it's possible. So that's the Euro for next week. Now, if we take it farther out, let's look at that time period where the Climate Prediction Center is looking at the Northern Gulf, and then I wanted to show you this. Look at the lack of any bright colors here. Not only that, but the Euro is basically spread from off the coast of New England to the Northern Gulf, and at the most 25 or 30% chance of maybe seeing a little bit of some kind of development. Very, very low chance. Uh-oh, hold on, stand by. What do we got here? Is Lisa another spammer? Lisa Hoffman, are you a spammer? Hey, is Dennis on? Dennis is on? Dennis, we already banned one. There was a spammer, we caught one. If Lisa is a spammer, guys, let me know if I missed something here. Do we need to GFS? Generally, something stupid. Yes, Harold, that's a good, that is a very good approximation of what the GFS is. Oh, I got to take one more break. Hold on, guys. We'll be right back. All right, so Lisa, is she a spammer? What are we looking at here? I saw somebody shout out. I don't see a lot from Lisa. I see this Lisa saying hello to somebody, and I know that's how these spammers go. They start saying hello. They start trying to talk to you. We'll see here. Lisa Hoffman, no political replies, please. We're not doing that. By the way, keeping it nice and clean and friendly. We are a supportive community. That's the most important thing. So that's the tropics. I had so many slides ready. I think what we're going to do here in this last segment, I've got so much prepared. Dennis, you'd be so proud of me. I have a special hit in Max that's now labeled DPL, and it is all DPL stuff. And I've got so much stuff to talk about. I don't even know what we'll have time to get to. So we've got 30 seconds left in this break, and I got to take one more break before we leave at 58. So we're going to do the earthquake thing really quick. We'll probably take a break and then come back. We're going to finish on an amazing video out of New Mexico. You guys have got to see this. She's a spammer. Just block her. All right. Lisa Hoffman. All right. Let's stand by. Stand by. Okay. Got to hit the button. Add Lisa to the block. She is done. Perfect. Lisa's blocked. Hit the button, and we're just about back on the spot. Hi there, everybody. We are back with us on the stream, ABC Action News Plus and Spot 66, Tampa Bay's newest TV channel. Got a lot to talk about and not a lot of time left. As always, this show flies by. So let's talk about some earthquakes. We touched on this yesterday. I told you I'd get back to it. There has been a swarm up across the Pacific Northwest. But you notice this is Mount Rainier in Washington State, outside of Seattle. Fewer dots tonight, okay? Definitely less activity than we saw yesterday. And these swarms are natural, but the U.S. Geological Survey put out a statement about it yesterday. That's why I started talking about it, because even for them, they're like, okay, this is a little more activity than we typically see. And you see a lot of it. I know the computer makes it look like it's on top of the mountain. It's not. It's actually about 1 to 3 miles below the surface. That's where most of these quakes have been. So let's get science-y. The United States Geological Survey, they sent out this update today. The blue dots are all the earthquakes around Mount Rainier, and I want you to only focus on the big image here, just this big one in the middle. All of these blue ones have been earthquakes around Mount Rainier since 2020, so the last 5 years. The orange ones are all the earthquakes in the last 2 days, okay? Had somebody go after me on Instagram saying this is nothing. It's not nothing. This is a huge increase in earthquake activity, but like with all swarms, you do have to watch it. And just like with the weather system, it's about the pattern. Is it increasing? Is it decreasing? And this is where the Geological Survey really came through today. And look at this. Bottom graph, charts, science-y, get ready, get back to your math class, take out a notebook, maybe a little piece of paper and a pen. The graph here shows the number of earthquakes per hour going back to yesterday. Yesterday at 4 o'clock in the morning, there were as many as 25 earthquakes per hour at Mount Rainier. That's when everybody woke up and was like, whoa, what's going on? All right. But notice how the graph is going down as you go right. The graph is getting smaller, meaning the number of quakes per hour around Mount Rainier has decreased. And that is certainly good news. The strongest one was a 2.2. That was yesterday. We haven't had anything nearly like that today. So it seems like this was just a natural swarm, a little volcano gas, and things are back to normal. And things are quieting down. So good news. It doesn't look like this is a sign of the volcano, which Mount Rainier is, an active volcano waking up. All right, one more break on the stream and over towards the spot. And then we're going to wrap up the show with some incredible video over from New Mexico. Stay with us, everybody. All right, break number 3. We are rolling in that. How's everybody doing on the chat? Lisa Huffman is resilient. What do you mean? Is she back? Is that possible? Hey, Jamil, how you doing? Somebody on Instagram. I don't know if I don't. Oh, I see what you're saying. The person, yeah, listen, I did a video about the earthquake yesterday, and it got a ton of views, like 150, 200,000 views as of this afternoon, which is great. I love to see that. But what happened was, people were getting really nasty. So I actually had to go in during the 5 o'clock newscast, and I turned off commenting. I can't deal with it. Like, people are just so nasty to each other. And instead of, and the person that was nasty at me was actually a geologist. And I thought, okay, well, why not contribute to the post and add your expertise to this? What a great moment to show off your expertise and get some followers. No, it was nasty comments. So I just turned them off. I mean, you guys, I don't like the negativity. You guys know I'm pretty upbeat. I'm pretty happy. I'm not the kind of person that's gonna be up for that. Oh, Denis is not. Wow, Denis took the night off. I love to see that. Right, got 15 seconds left. I only have, 3 minutes left in the show. So this is going to be really, really quick. But I will get to the video because it is absolutely incredible. This was on my Facebook page too. All right, they're coming back in 2. All right, welcome back on ABC Action News Plus and the Spot 66. I'm meteorologist Greg D filling in for Dennis on DPL. We got to talk about this. So we had another flash flood event. My goodness, that is so difficult to say. This was in New Mexico yesterday afternoon. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see. This is south of Albuquerque in New Mexico. Again, this part of the country deals with this stuff all the time, okay? So this is not unusual for this part of New Mexico. They only had about 3 to 4 inches of rain, but that is enough. This is also mountainous terrain. The water literally heads down the mountains into the valley, and as is typical, there's a town down there and some campgrounds, and we had an issue. The rain was set up right over the hillsides, and the water. I want you to look at this video. This is exactly, so I'm gonna go full screen on this because I think it's absolutely worth it, everybody, to see this. So we're gonna go full screen, and I'm gonna play the video of the beginning of a flash flood, and I want you to see what this looks like. So this is from Jesus. Check this out. This moment is hardly ever captured. It is not just water. It is debris. This is just amazing video. Trees, branches, wood. So when you get this initial hit moving through, this does physical damage. This is not like surge. In storm surge, it's mostly water. Here, you're looking at, look at all the tree debris. I mean, I'm actually surprised that bridge that it hits right there in this valley, this campground, did not get knocked down. That is just absolutely incredible video. This river went up 20 feet in a matter of minutes. Unfortunately, I believe some folks did lose their life in this. It's just been an absolutely horrendous week for flooding. And then this video, I know it's all over online. You've probably seen it, but I got to show it to you again. This is someone who lives just up from the top of the river. So they were looking out their window at this flooding. And about 30 seconds in, I want you to look what comes in from the left. The power of this river is just absolutely incredible. You see the water, the mud flow, and then you see it there. She zooms in, and what you see is an entire house, literally an entire house floating by in the, just absolutely incredible. That was in New Mexico yesterday afternoon. The river has since down. They're doing cleanup, but I mean, it's just incredible. What a repeat. Now, is that a coincidence? It is a coincidence. Listen, it's July. It's the monsoon season out there. The fact that Texas and New Mexico got these rains in July, not unusual for that because this is their wet season. And we'll probably see more of these heavy rain events, but that is just, I agree with you, Angela, absolutely terrifying. So for those of you watching on ABC Action News Plus and the Spot 66, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We'll be back here tomorrow starting at 7:30. If you want to continue the conversation, I'll stay on a few minutes longer on Facebook. We'll see you tomorrow night. All right, Facebook folks, it's just us now. I'll stay up for a few more minutes. I do have to go get some food, and as always, this is where we can get a little bit more informal. Vinny's got a big school project due tomorrow, so I'm on cookie walking duty tonight. So that's going to be my duty. I'm going to probably bring my dinner and eat it here, so I'm not out for too long. But I'm going to have to give Cookie a little walk tonight. So thank you guys for watching. Blue Ridge, Georgia. Oh, that sounds fan. I've heard of Blue Ridge. Someone's watching from Georgia. I love that. Jamil, I know you're from Trinidad and Tobago. Do you know? Are you here because of Dennis or my page? Because I know my friend Ricky, my neighbor across the street, literally is from Trinidad and Tobago, and I know he's got some folks in Trinidad that watch us because he's always talking about me being the weatherman in the neighborhood. Yes, time to find out. Wow, you guys really take notes, Diana. Yeah, she is literally going to be, and in the evening, a lot of the cats come out just to kind of, you know, it's hot for them during the day too. So as the sun sets, they come out and start moving around a little bit. So she definitely is out there looking at all the cats. I can always tell that she usually sees them before I do because she will slow down. She gets her head really low. I mean, she's a 50-pound dog. She's not small, but for some reason, for her, just lowering her head makes her invisible to the cats. She tries to sneak up on them, but they're cats. They get away so fast. She has no chance, no chance. But she still tries every time. Hey, Jamil, you're from my page. Awesome. I love that. Fond memories of Trinidad and Tobago. That was a great, great visit down to Trinidad. Sun in Inverness tomorrow, Patty's asking. I think there will be some sun. I don't think you're getting a ton of rain up toward the Nature Coast tomorrow. I think it's going to be fine. Debbie, thank you. You guys said great job again. Good evening, Greg. Hey, Darlene, how you doing? As a former engineer, I love the science. I love that. You guys know one of the main reasons why I do the school visits during the year, and it depends on the year. I actually, my first year here, I did 120. That almost killed me. So I've been trying to kind of pull back to just 1 or 2 a week because they do take a lot out of me. There's often a long drive. You guys know I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. So being up at 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon and driving for an hour, it's just not safe. So I've cut it back to about 50 to 60 a year, which is still a lot. But one of my main focuses of that is to try to excite kids about the weather, about science, technology, engineering, and math. I tell them about becoming a meteorologist, what it takes, what kinds of meteorologists there are out there, but I also tell them about other science and math careers. I really believe, back in the day, maybe when you guys were growing up, lawyers and doctors, that's where all the money is. I really think we're seeing a shift. I really think the shift is now towards computer engineering, computer science. They're math and science and computer fields. AI. We need more computer programmers and computer engineers to figure out the chips that run AI, the actual graphics chips that NVIDIA is making and all these companies, and then how to write the software. Apple, of all places, they are losing the race in AI. They are horrible at it right now. And just tells you how difficult it is because Apple is such an amazing company, but they're having such a hard time catching up to everybody else. I bet they are paying through the roof to get people to write the software for them. And a lot of that is from home, probably, a lot of it. That's where the money is. If you've got a young child that is interested in science, technology, engineering, math, keep them focused on that as long as you can, because I think there's some huge rewards in terms of careers. By the way, if there are some teachers watching, if you're wondering about my school visit program, I'm not going to announce it on TV again because last year I did that and on social media, and I just got overwhelmed with requests. Here's how it works. If you're a parent, you can't invite me to your school. I need to be invited by a teacher or an administrator. The only way to do that, there's only one way. Do not comment on any posts. Email. I need to get the request in email because that's the only way I can keep them organized and address them in the order that they arrive. So I need a teacher or someone from the school to email me, invite me, and schedule the visit. greg.dee@wfts.com. You see the address right there. And I will be very happy, especially if this is a school that I haven't been to. I prioritize new schools over ones that I come back to year after year because I do want to hit up new neighborhoods, new towns, new counties. And I will go anywhere ABC Action News is seen. So if you're watching from Avon Park or Inverness, fair game. I go into Citrus County every year. I go into Hernando County, Polk County, Pasco, Pinellas, Manatee, and Hillsborough a lot. Pinellas by far the most visited county, and then Polk number 2. Both of those counties really get a lot of invitations for these school visits. So that's going to start up. I'm going to start scheduling in August. So if you know someone, kind of get the word out. August probably 1st, that's when we have our back to school show on the morning show. That's when the emails should start coming in. All right, everybody. I think it's time to kind of wrap this up. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again. We got to use the ban button twice and actually ban 2 spammers. I feel like I've made a difference in the world today. If that was my contribution, it is to get rid of a couple of spammers. I'm pretty happy with that. Thanks so much, guys. Sarasota County, Cindy, I will go to Sarasota County. I visit Sarasota County. Love the schools down there. If you've got a school, a teacher, or a principal, assistant principal, whoever it is, a volunteer coordinator from the school, have them email me. Private schools, yes. I don't care about religious affiliation. I have visited Christian schools, Jewish schools, Muslim schools. I've done all of that. It could be a private school. It could be a school that just has 50 students. It could be a group that has 2,000 students. I do not discriminate. I will visit. I believe in talking to all the kids. my interest is math, science, engineering, the weather, and weather safety. I do a lot of severe weather. It's an exciting presentation, but it also has a lot of math, science, and kind of encouragement to push them in that direction. So absolutely, any school, I am there. You just got to invite me by August, because by the middle of September, I'm usually booked up for the rest of the year. So if your gears are turning, you're thinking, I know someone, or I would like that, you gotta get organized, and August 1st is when I'll start taking those requests. Anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching this evening, and I will be back tomorrow evening.